Welcome. This is Impact 2022, our continuing conversation where we talk about everything from current events, issues that have happened in the news, where we've talked about religion, race, or social unrest, just everything. This is our continuing conversation, as it always is. We ask that you type in your comments and your questions into the comment section. And we will discuss those as they appear. And so if anyone, this is a conversation. And so please feel free to engage and put in your comments so that we may be able to answer them. And hopefully there is not a delay. There's a delay on my side. So hopefully you're not getting any kind of delay on your side for all of those who are joining us by Facebook and by YouTube. And today we're a little less of a topic. We kind of just open out there. So if anybody has any comments, really encourage you today to put in any kind of comment for the conversation. And so let's just start off and go right into it. There's been a lot of stuff going on lately, a lot of current events that we've had lately. And most of them have been really tragic. Even as we speak today, there have been some additional shootings. So just to recap, within the past 3 weeks, there have been 2 mass shootings by individuals under the age of 18. And there has been some additional shootings today, not on the same scale of being mass casualty shootings. These may be more of the as horrible as this sounds, more of the traditional shootings, 2 people here and 2 people there, or a person here and a person there. But there has been a large amount of eyes placed on shootings and gun control, and to a lesser degree, mental health. And for those of you who have seen, we had the shooting in Buffalo, New York. We had the shooting in Uvalde, Texas. And one of the things that have come out of this shooting is that there's been a call for gun control. One senator or one government official saying it's time that we move the age from 18 to purchase a gun and purchase a weapon to 21. And one of the reasons behind that is that the largest mass shootings that have occurred within the last 30 or so years have all happened from people who are at age 18 and under. And so they're putting together that, well, maybe we need to raise the age of being able to legally purchase a weapon to 21. Rationale being because many of these purchases are legal that have happened in these mass shootings. And it's just a person waiting to turn 18, or maybe that mentally they can't handle having owning these weapons on their own at that age. I don't necessarily think that is a solution to the problem. Another one that was put out here was that teachers should be armed. That is a solution to some of the problems. That's just the isolated problem of having school shootings. Doesn't really solve the broader issue. But that was another solution that was brought up. Even though the National Association of Teachers overwhelmingly have taken survey after survey, and overwhelmingly the answer has come back as teachers saying no, they don't want to be armed on the grand scale. You may know a teacher here or there who loves their guns and wants to have them in the classroom, but overwhelmingly teachers have rejected that notion. And the law enforcement community has said that that's not actually going to make anyone safer. And so at this moment in this time where we're at, we are in this thing of just everybody putting in their ideas for solutions. Like, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Most of them revolve around control, restricting the amount of guns that they can have, restricting what type of guns that can be had. Um, in Canada, they actually have just put a pause or a moratorium on just sales right now while they figure some stuff out. And so, not even that a mass shooting happened in Canada, it happened here, and they're saying, look, we're gonna put a pause on this, and we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure out some changes that need to be made. Of course, that would never happen here because we don't have political will, and people are crazy here about guns. You know, just going to put it point blank period. Whether you like them or not, there are people who are absolutely nuts about guns and want to have 100 guns or 3,000 guns or whatever. I don't know. They're just in love with their guns. And so the idea of what do we do has all been revolving around gun control. However, here we've spoken about different topics. We've spoken about the need for mental health, to be able to acknowledge mental health, the need to check on one another, and the need to, just be more of a community. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether or not you have a gun. If somebody wants to do a violent act or a horrible act, they can find a way to do it. It's dealing with the persons and the individuals that matters. You can reduce the effectiveness that the person may have in having a mass casualty situation, but you can't eliminate the person from having the mass casualty situation just by taking away one type of weapon versus another type of weapon. So make sure that's clear. What we're saying here is that you can't take away their desire to have a mass shooting just by removing their tools. If somebody says, well, I want to blow up a bunch of people and I need to get my hands on a grenade, you say, well, you can't have a grenade. Well, then they're going to figure out something else. So that doesn't help to just take away the weapons. It helps to see, why does that person want to do what they want to do? What type of help and assistance do we need to offer? From a mental health standpoint, is there anything that we need to be doing? From a society standpoint, is there anything that needs to be doing? And, if you were here with us last week, you know that one of the things that I spoke on and talked about was the fact that we need to make sure that we take care of one another, see one another, watch one another, participate with one another. One of the things that we need to do is, for us and our own personal selfish reasons that we want to stay away from other people, we need to just make ourselves available. When this post-COVID or COVID or whatever, however you want to put together our society or however you want to label it, we need to make sure that we do not stay but so disconnected. Depression loves isolation, and isolation loves depression, as I say. It's funny, I just had read an article talking about the fact that a broken heart can kill people. It is a real thing when people say, well, they died of a broken heart. And we kind of casually say that, but it's actually a real thing. It's a combination of depression and other issues where your body can physically shut down and you can die from a broken heart. You're just so sad. You're so distraught. You're so, taken aback. And so you would think that comes from isolation, that comes from depression. They said with COVID and which is COVID and what's been going on in the news with the economy, which is everything that's been going on, that there have been a rise in people who have just passed away from a broken heart. It's a form of depression. And so that can come from us isolating ourselves. And so we have to take it upon ourselves and take it upon ourselves not to isolate as much, to make sure that we're out there and we connect with other people, and take it upon ourselves to make sure that our friends and our family are not isolating us so much, and we reach out to them. I know as much as everybody else knows how frustrating it is to try to reach out to people who don't want to be reached out to, but we have to continue to try and continue to try to touch them and reach out to them. And again, any comments, any questions, bring them in. So that's where we are. We're in a moment of trying to figure out solutions to a problem that is horrific, a problem of violence, a problem of continued violence that keeps going on in our communities. And for those of us who are grounded in the church, those of us who are grounded in God, we know that we have an advantage because we have a community of people who we can talk to and connect with. And we also have faith in God, and we have the opportunity to you know, you know, stay connected thing. There have been people who are really, there are people who are really getting on folk who are saying, you know, well, let's just pray over these situations. And it's weird. This is our opportunity to clarify. You know if somebody's not really. This is 100% my opinion, but you know if somebody's not really on board with their faith when a tragedy like this happens and they say, "Well, we're just going to pray," because we know, or we should know, that prayer is preparatory for action. It's a part of action. It's communication before action. You know, you pray to God for what you would like, and then you have to do your action as well. And so when people say, well, let's just pray for the victims and their families, if there's no action that is accompanying that prayer, then you're not doing anything. So these people who want to pray, they want to talk about prayer, and then there's no action. If you are, let's say, in the government, and there's no legislative action to see what we should do about those people with mental health issues, what we should do about the fact that we have high capacity, like war, high capacity guns that are made for war, not for hunting or, any type of real sport. They're made for war and mass casualty events. If you don't want to have any action to make any changes for the mental health or to reduce weapons that don't need to be in the hands of just regular citizens, then you're not talking about anything. Your prayers are hollow. It shows that your faith probably is as hollow as those prayers are, because you don't know that there has to be works, there has to be action accompanied with your words. And so we got a lot of talking, not a lot of action. But what it does show is, hey man, if you somebody who's just talking about I'm gonna pray for y'all, and there's no action behind it, then that's probably a person who you need to reconnect your faith. You need to really get back in the church. You need to not be so virtual or missing, and get back in there and actually have some conversations, because if there's no action behind what we're doing, then there's nothing there. All right. Well, since we don't have any comments, we're going to make this a short night. We will be back here next week. And again, always adding these comments and these questions. And to everyone who is out there, anybody who may want to participate in the show, not just doing your comments in the comment section, but also want to participate and be a member or a part of the show, feel free to contact us here at Amani. You can contact us through the phone number. I wouldn't recommend the website right now because it is down, but you can contact us through the phone number, and or even in the comment section, see it, and we will reach back out. Or on our Facebook page, you can send us a message. And so, yeah, if anybody wants to participate, just feel free, because we always love to hear opinions, because this is an open conversation. We do have one comment coming in. Prayer without action is like when people throw money at a problem because they really don't want to get involved. But yeah, no, that's a good one. They really don't want to get involved. But even more so, I think that, we have a lot of people, they throw money at a problem because they don't want to get involved. But there's a lot of folk, many of these, I feel bad because I always seem like I'm jumping on these politicians, but many of these politicians who are just saying, I'm going to pray for them, not because they don't want to get involved, because they 100%, and they're not the person who doesn't want to get involved, because that's not the thing that they do. Like the person who gives money to the homeless shelters, but they'll never go to the homeless shelter because that's just not their thing. They're like, I can't really do that. No, they're saying I'll pray for you because they know good and well they're not going to do anything, because that's where their money comes from. They're not going to do anything because they don't care how many people pass away. Unfortunately, you got to look at the issues of who got shot in these situations. In Uvalde, you're sitting here with a lot of people who are Hispanic in nature. Do they really care? When you look at Buffalo, you're looking at people who are people of color. You're looking at Black people up there. Do they really care? And so you look at some of the movement by some of these politicians, especially in Texas, in the Uvalde case, and you say, well, their prayer without action is because they don't really care at all. It's not even a situation of they don't want to get involved, they don't want to put in the work or the effort. They just don't care, you know. And unfortunately, you got a lot of people like that. If you know, if you're gonna pray, you got to do some action. Like, and this again, this is me. Don't waste your time saying you're gonna pray for something and you don't plan to do nothing. Then what you doing? You know. So, I don't know. Thank you for the comment there. All right. All right. Well, this has been another Impact 2022. I appreciate all the comments that came in. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. We will be here again next week, same time, 8 o'clock, same place. Hopefully, we'll have guests and we'll be able to continue to have conversations about everything that's going on. And if you have a topic as well that you want to send in and something that you want to see us talk about, see us explore, see us dive into, let us know. We're always open for comments. We're always open for suggestions. We're always open for ideas. Thank you. Again, my name is Nathaniel. This is Impact 2022. Have a good one and have a good night.